to see you. Huh? What's that? I'm talking on yellow too. I'm talking. Hey, check, check, check. I'm talking. Yo, this is me talking on yellow too. Yellow too. What do you think? There it is. Thank you very much. And then the piano. Blue four. Yeah. Got it? You're a gift to us all. Thank you. Marianne, so are you. I am behind. That's what I am. But I am here. Greetings, everyone. I just arrived. I'm sorry for my tardiness. When I teach students about music, I talk to them about the train, getting on the train, right? The pulse of music, the pulse of time. You have to get on the train. And yes, yeah. And this train is moving forward, right? I better catch a ride. This train's moving forward, I'm gonna catch a ride. Oh, this train's moving forward, I'm gonna catch a ride. Scared if I don't board it, it'd be bound to pass me by. Hacksaw, my one hand, darling, how do you do now? Oh, hacksaw, my one hand, darling, how do you do now? I'd gladly lift your burdens, I'm afraid I don't know how. Oh, it's a strange and heavy load. Oh, when you're quick to catch it, slow to let it go. Oh, it's a strange and heavy load. Oh, when you're quick to catch it, slow to let it go. Oh, it's a strange and heavy load. Why the long face? Where'd your head go? Must not remember the message. That's okay, love. We will not leave you. Oh, all people are holy. Many paths, one God, and only love is real. Only love is real anymore. This train's moving forward, I'm gonna catch a ride. Oh, this train's moving forward, I'm gonna catch a ride. Scared if I don't board it, it'd be bound to pass me by. Oh, it's a strange and heavy load. Oh, when you're quick to catch it, slow to let it go. Oh, it's a strange and heavy load.
Good morning. Thanks, Danny. Nice of you to join us this morning.
Yes, it is.
Just giving you a hard time. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for sharing in your day here in this way. I'm so glad that we're starting our week together. Please join me in a breath. Feel yourself breathing. Follow the sensations of your breath into a fuller embodiment. We breathe so that we may be fully present where we are and when we are, letting thoughts of what has been and what might be fall away just for now. We breathe together so we might be about the work of community together. Our collective breath is a sacred reminder that you are so much more together than we are alone. Our survival as people and as a people depends on our ability to breathe in this connection and hold it through each day we face. Each Sunday, a flame is kindled as a visual reminder that there is something within us, something eternal that we call the light or source. Sometimes that light feels dimmed by the goings-on of life and the world, or even the conditions of our own minds. So we gather together to have it ignited once again. Sometimes it is kindled by what we receive, and sometimes it is kindled by what we have to share with others. I'm glad you've chosen to begin your week in this way. Again, good morning and welcome. I want to remind everyone that you are an integral part of our community in the space we are sharing. Thank you for being here today as you are with us. We are born for belonging. We don't just welcome you, we need you. Community means we are committed to each other and celebrate those interwoven parts of ourselves. For those hoping to share hugs, hands, and hellos, please prepare to give and receive your good mornings. For those who feel best staying seated and taking time for silence and community, please remain where you are. Those who are seated are asking the rest of us to cherish them from afar, and we will do so. Start greeting. Hello. Danny has called us back to our seats. Danny's not even at his seat, but that's fine. Danny's dancing the beat of his own drum this morning, and we are going to let him do that. Announcements. I have a couple. Art Squared was yesterday. We made about $370, which is $370 we did not have. Thank you, Donna Joe, for all your hard work with that. Also, Heather Davis, who is not here this morning. We do have soup cozies for sale that did not sell yesterday. It is cash only today. How much are they, Donna Joe? Okay, $8 a piece, 2 for $15. Today it is cash only. However, if you do not have cash and you would like one, we will put your name on it and set it aside, and you can do it next week. We just don't have the card reader to be able to take cards today. I'm going to do announcements for Jeffrey. The museum within, they are still accepting donations, correct? It'll be up for a couple months. Please check it out. There's a lot of great stuff over there. That team has spent a lot of time on that, and we're really appreciative of that. Also, fourth Sunday, which will be next Sunday, is Queer Spirituality Sunday after service. Today is the third Sunday, so it's Cake and Community, and we will have a community meeting with some upcoming things that are happening. Also, next Saturday is the Equinox Retreat. Is that from 9 to 12? If there is a registration link on Facebook, if you would like to sign up for that. They are asking for a small donation, $15, just to help cover the food. Anything extra that is made will just go right back into the miscellaneous fund of the church. Any other announcements? Yeah. Nobody clap for the song. That's a very, yep. Please give Danny a round of applause, guys. Any other announcements? Jeffrey, I got both yours covered. Okay. I might upset a couple people, and if I do, I am incredibly sorry, but there was something that happened this week that I would like us to talk about. As we move into this time of music and meditation, I want to talk about something. This year has been eye-opening for me in a number of ways as I've stepped up into some leadership. But one of those ways is that we, as a community, like our rituals, and we have proven that time and time again this year. We want to light a candle and take breaths together. We want to meditate and pray together. Another thing that we seemingly like to do is to downplay what is going on in our own lives as not as important as what is going on in someone else's life. We do this all the time. I personally do this all the time. When we had to put my dog down last year, I hurt. Rose was a dog that we had rescued as a puppy from an abusive home. When we put her down, my immediate response was, someone else lost a child today. This isn't as bad. Earlier this year, when I had a seemingly emergency ultrasound where I had to drink 32 ounces of water in like an hour, the tech had the absolute worst face as she was doing the ultrasound, and I was able to read the results a full day and a half before I talked to my doctor. I called it drama. This was drama in my life I was dealing with and didn't need to tell other people about it. My friends, my community, I was wrong. And while I am not going to literally call anyone out, a lot of you have been wrong as well. We are a community of friends and family that are more than willing and able to do the very small but mighty task of praying for each other. So the next time you have something going on that you don't think is as important as anything else, please stop. Remember your community and send the prayer request. In my head when I wrote this, I used a string of not appropriate words. I will continue to tell each and every one of you and call you out if you are not allowing your community to help you in the easiest of ways, such as praying for you and with you. With that, let's move into a prayer, first with music and then with meditation.
against you, against me, for the sins we committed against one another now. For indifference, interference, for minor slights and outrageous affronts, for ignoring, for reminding, for ignoring, and for pointing out. Forgive me, pardon me, as I pardon you. For indifference, interference, for minor slights and outrageous affronts, for forgetting, for reminding, for ignoring, and for pointing out. Forgive me, pardon me, as I pardon you.
Namaste. This is Greg's meditation. He's not feeling well today, so I am reading it for him. Good morning to all of you here with me, and to those of you joining us virtually. At the Church Within, in our effort to create church together, we meditate. This meditation time draws us closer to our authentic self, and thereby closer to each other and the Spirit within us. To that end, please take several deep cleansing breaths with me, placing your feet on the floor and relaxing into your seat. And breathe. Today I invite all of us to consider how, by practicing this meditative state, we affect the awakening of soul, mind, and body. As we calm our inner voice and start to disconnect from our relentless pattern or searching, we let loose the habitual self-questioning and relax into a communal mind, one of knowing and caring, one mind of this reverent meeting. As we calm our thoughts, let us enlist one into another our commitment of a liberating and loving community, a community of inward-looking people and outward-reaching people. In this calmness, let's remember healing one in need brings healing to the whole community. In setting free our own being, loosening the bonds of self-limitation, we free our neighbors, friends, and loved ones as well. We can bring ourselves back to our seat ourselves by bring ourselves back by opening our eyes and feeling ourselves in our seat. The Church Within has a team of prayer warriors. If you are in need of prayer or want to share your celebrations with a prayer, you can go to thechurchwithin.org and the team will be there for you. There's also a box here and in the lobby where you can place your written prayers. And I will also be here for you today if you would like prayer today. Thank you.
Knowing the password helps. Thank you, Mary. Let's take one more breath together. The prayer I chose for today is by Amanda Gorman, who is the youngest inaugural poet we have had at the age of 22, if my math is correct. She is a youth poet laureate and has many incredible works already published. She is a poet and activist who focuses on oppression, feminism, and marginalization. I highly recommend familiarizing yourself with this amazing poet and woman. The poem is titled Hymn for the Hurting. Everything hurts. Our hearts shadowed and strange, minds have muddied and mute. We carry tragedy, terrifying and true, and yet none of it is new. We knew it as home, as horror, as heritage. Even our children cannot be children, cannot be. Everything hurts. It's a hard time to be alive, and even harder to stay that way. We're burdened to live out these days while at the same time blessed to outlive them. This alarm is how we know we must be altered, that we must differ or die, that we must triumph or try. Thus, while hate cannot be terminated, it can be transformed into a love that lets us live. May we not just grieve, but give. May we not just ache, but act. May our signed right to bear arms never blind our sight from shared harm. May we choose our children over chaos. May another innocent never be lost. Maybe everything hurts, our hearts shadowed and strange, but only when everything hurts may everything change. A couple months ago, I found this poem on Facebook, of all places, and I saved it. I saved it by screenshotting it and sending it to Tyne for an unknown reason right now, but I knew that I would use it one day. That day is today. I'm also going to cheat a little bit today, but I'll tell you what I'm doing and when I do it. As many of you know, because I reference it any chance I get, I joined a group called the Indie Action Coalition as a new organizer. I showed up for extra credit and I stayed because I felt like I had found another part of my community. I found a community that was struggling, that was lost, that was hurting for their children, grandchildren, and their own neighbors. I found a community that knew we had to fight or we would die. I found in that larger faith community a lot of what I find in our smaller community. In conversations and workshops and trainings with a wide variety of organizing leaders over the last 6 months, I have learned one thing that I will hold true for as long as I possibly can. I do not have to be your best friend or your confidant. I do not have to hold every moral or value that you hold as true. I do not have to believe in the same God or gods in the way that you do. But if we can come together as a community that wants safe homes, safe neighborhoods, safe schools, and safe people in a respectful manner, we can overcome all of those things and work together to make real change in our neighborhood, our community, our city, our state, and our country. There are a tremendous amount of things we can unpack in Amanda Gorman's poem, but here's the line that gets me every time. Our children cannot be children. I immediately think about active shooter drills in our schools. I used to do tornado drills and fire drills and sit in the hallway with my head down and under the desk. I remember the first time our school system was locked down when I had kids in it, and I was terrified. It wasn't even a lockdown, but a stop movement, and I didn't know what that meant, but nobody could come in or go out. The kids couldn't leave the classroom. As a new parent in the high school, because I got my oldest 2 days before his freshman year, I had no idea what was going on, just that I had been seeing school shootings for years. And while you might think a smaller rural school is safer, the school one town over had a child arrested for the threat of a shooting in a school with a gun found outside the door. I can drive from my house to that school in 20 minutes in a town that has not a single stoplight in the town limits. If that isn't rural, I don't know what is, and yet my children aren't safer. My children, they can't be children. As an adoptive mother of kids in foster care, my children were not allowed to be children. This is a large part of why I continue to organize with the Indie Action Coalition. This is a large part of why I want to advocate for safety in all of our communities, all of our cities, our entire state, and our nation. And safety looks like a lot of different things. Now for that part I'm going to cheat on. A few weeks ago, I was the chair for the launch of our next cycle with Indie Action Coalition. I'm going to share with you what I shared at the kickoff meeting for this. As with many things I do, I am vulnerable and open in this statement, but I think it explains why I'm so passionate about the work with Indie Action as well as my work as board president in our community. As I reread what I wrote for that event, I decided to deliver it as it was delivered that evening. So I'm going to say good evening and introduce myself even though you know me. I'm going to mention people's names that you won't know and talk about what they are doing after me, so please bear with me. Here it goes. Good evening, and thank you for being here. Give yourself a round of applause for showing up tonight. I am excited to continue or maybe start on this journey with all of you. In a world full of uncertainty, both on the international level, the federal level, the state level, and the very local level, I applaud you for showing up to help fight for our communities. My name is Danielle Cooney. Some of you know me, and hopefully some of you don't. That means you are new to our organizing team, and we welcome you. In February of this year, I was distraught and scared and tense about what was going to happen to my friends, my family, my classmates, my newly adopted children. I found solace in a group of people who didn't even have a name yet, but wanted to stand up and fight. In the months since my first time here, I made the choice to continue to show up and fight, alongside old friends, new friends, people I have never met yet, and people I've never seen again. I made the choice to personally work to ensure that not only was my community safe, but my friends and my neighbors' communities were safe as well. Throughout the course of the next 6 months or so, I listened, I attended trainings, I met with leaders in different organizations to talk to city council members and the mayor. I did my very first press conference where I was unexcusably vulnerable to the people standing not just in front of me or behind me, but anyone that saw the news coverage. That is the day I skipped one of the only college classes I have skipped on this go-around with this excuse. So, Professor A, we're learning about writing for social change, right? Well, I'm gonna write a part of a press conference and then go say those words to help affect social change surrounding immigration and ICE detainees in the Marion County Jail. So I'm literally taking the lessons you were teaching me in class and applying them in real life. That okay? Great, thanks, see you later. So many things I have done in the last 6 months happened because I walked into this very room. On that fateful day 6 months ago, I sat in this room and had someone ask me if I wanted power, and I did not. Power, who wants that? That comes with an enormous amount of responsibility for other people, and I have enough going on right now. You see, my first experience with power is from my father. My father was in charge in our house. What he said was essentially law in my house. Anyone else grow up in a house like that? My father wielded his power so well that he was sentenced to 65 years in prison for neglected murder. I did not want that power. I have spent my life unlearning the lessons that my father's power taught me, and believe me when I say I am still unlearning them. In January of this year, I saw power undo what our judicial system said was illegal when the January 6th rioters were given full pardons and released. You mean that we can attack the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., attack police officers, try to attack the Vice President of the United States, and that's just okay? The white supremacy group, the Proud Boys, is allowed to cause irreparable trauma to people, and that's just okay. Power to me was negative and dirty. Power was something other people had, people who had never lived my life or stood in my shoes or the shoes of my neighbors or my friends. Power was something that people gained because they were wealthy or had the right connections or went to the right school or married the right person. Power was not something I would ever attain in my lifetime, and I did not want it. But can I tell you a secret? I was wrong. Power is not defined by the amount of money you have, how charismatic you are, who you marry, where you go to school. Power is defined by you and me. I want the power to help make the decisions that will better our communities, our neighborhoods and schools, our families. I want the power to affect real social change in my neighborhood, in my community, in my city, in my state, in my country. Do you want that power? Tonight, Indy Action Coalition is launching the beginning steps in our next phase of power building. In our last phase, we were able to continue the city funding for gun violence reduction, as well as continued money for CLCR, or the Crisis-Led Community Response Team. I'm going to deviate slightly. With these two things in the city budget, CLCR has a 99% success rate of care, not cuffs, when they go to a call. Gun violence is down 45% overall in the city. You would have learned that later in the presentation. We were able to get a $10 million guarantee from the city that will be matched by philanthropic donations for our Streets to Home initiative. Streets to Home is an evidence-based model to help end chronic homelessness in the city of Indianapolis in a humane and loving way. Did we get everything we asked for? No. Are we still fighting? We 100% are. Tonight, our faith organizations will set up listening sessions to find out what is important to us. Listen to what I said. What is important to us? This is our neighborhood, our city, our state, and our country. We get to decide what is important to fight for. We get to decide what we can live with. We get to decide what our elected officials need to align with us on if they want to continue to be elected officials. As we continue this evening with a credential from Sandra and some training from Carolyn and Joel, I want to ask you to dig deep down. What is important to you, and also why? Are potholes your thing? They're bad. But maybe someone hit a pothole and lost control of their car and caused an accident that injured or even worse, killed somebody. Let's fight about potholes would be my first instinct. But digging deeper than that, what is in place to keep things like that scenario from happening? What needs to be in place? As a mother, a wife, a business owner thinking of a career change, and a full-time student, I know we are all busy. I am busy, but I'm also committed to having a better, safer place for all of us to continue to grow. In our first complete cycle, we were able to get a commitment of $20 million from our city's budget. This was also in a time of drastic federal funding cuts. The Indy Action Coalition, along with the Validus Movement and the Black Church Coalition under the Live Free Indiana umbrella, showed up and made more than just a small difference. We not only impacted lives, but we saved lives. I'm asking you to join us on this next cycle. I know that some of that didn't make complete sense. I'm hoping there was enough context to understand the other parts. My friends, we are on the really hard times. We must work together to make some changes, and as much as I hate change, we don't have a choice. Our choice is to work with each other, with other people in our collective community to effect change, or we die. I want to go back to these words by Amanda Gorman. May we not just grieve, but give. May we not just ache, but act. May our signed right to bear arms never blind our sight from shared harm. May we choose our children over chaos. May another innocent never be lost. The right to bear arms has been at the top of my newsfeed in the last week and a half. And honestly, it isn't something I want to talk about right now. And I don't want to talk at you about it because I don't know how I feel about it. It is an incredibly divisive topic right now, and that is what I would do. I would talk at you, and that would not solve the violence problem we have in America. But what I want is for us to choose our children over chaos and pray another innocent may never be lost. I can honestly say that I stand before you and I'm willing to say that I grieve for Charlie Kirk's children because they got tossed in the world of chaos. His children now have shared harm. His children have chaos. His children's innocence is lost. I ache, but I act for my children. I grieve for what is happening, but I give as much as I can to try to help stop it. Not a single part of me believes in what Charlie Kirk believed, but I would also never wish the traumatic death of a parent on anyone, let alone a child. Argue what you will, but his children have been thrown into the chaos of their father's murder, and that will never be okay. You may or may not have seen that I was a part of the group that went to try to repair the relationship with the Marion County Sheriff over his holding detainees for ICE. The sheriff had refused to meet with us for the past 8 months, but we continued to show up. We continued to show up, and when we finally had enough power to wield, we got our meeting. The details of that meeting are insightful, frustrating, aggravating, but we learned a lot of things. One of the things that was said in regard to why the sheriff did not immediately meet with us referenced a quote in the signature line of the organizer. The quote is this: "I swore never to be silent whenever and wherever human beings endure suffering and humiliation. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented." He thought this quote was a type of fear-mongering or pushiness for more than just a conversation. Anyone know who this quote is from? I'm going to say the name wrong. Elie Wiesel, who was a Holocaust survivor. I'm going to leave that as it is and allow you to draw conclusions, but I will be available after to chat about it. We cannot, as a community, continue to be silent in the face of our fellow human neighbors' suffering and humiliation. I think a basic human right is respect, and the social worker in me says that I am not only respecting a person when I meet them where they are, but I will no longer be silent. I will not encourage the tormentor. Instead, I will help and hold up the tormented. We cannot be okay with not helping the tormented or the oppressed. Maybe everything hurts, our heart shadowed and strange, but only when everything hurts may everything change. These words, so eloquently spoken and written by the youngest poet laureate ever, only when everything hurts may everything change. I think back to the civil rights movement and who was hurting then. Let me break it down simply and follow along in my assumptions, please. During civil rights, our Black neighbors hurt. Everything in our Black community hurt. They were less than. They didn't have the same rights as. They had separate but equal, even though nothing was ever equal. Martin Luther King hurt, Rosa Parks hurt, Malcolm X hurt, Thurgood Marshall hurt. The marchers during Selma hurt. This was a physical and emotional hurt. Some of the things that happened hurt the white community. I use hurt very broadly here, and more as more of a term to cover hurt over change. The civil rights movement inexplicitly hurt our Black community, and when it finally hurt our white community in a very different way, things started to change. I am in no way downplaying what our Black community went through and continues to go through. I also know that I cannot fully understand or conceptualize what our Black community went through, but I know they hurt. And it wasn't until the white community felt as if we were hurting that things changed. But only when everything hurts may everything change. My friends, my community, my chosen family, everything hurts. I hurt, My kids hurt. My community is deeply hurting. Our schools are hurting. Our larger scale social systems to protect people are hurting. We could go farther and say that our ecosystem is hurting with all the damage we have caused and continue to cause. We raise butterflies in our houses and have beehives to save bees, to protect our natural systems. We strive to protect our forests and our national parks from hurt. Only when everything hurts may everything change. And my friends, my community, I want us to be that change. I will be that change. I want us to embrace the power that will allow us to effectively make changes, including the knowledge that we may have the power, we may have to change our elected officials. We have the power. We wield the power. I hurt and I will embrace the power I want for my family, for my community, for myself. Will you come along with me? I hope so. Let it be so.
Maybe everything hurts, our hearts shadowed and strange, but only when everything hurts can everything change. Everything hurts, our hearts shadowed and strange, minds made muddled and mute. We carry tragedy, terrifying, 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 terrifying and true. And yet none of it is new. We knew it as home. We know it as horror, now we know it as our heritage. Even our children cannot be children, even our children cannot be. Even our children cannot be children, even our children cannot be. Maybe everything hurts, our hearts shadowed and strange, but only when everything hurts can everything change. This alarm is how we know that we must be altered, that we must differ or die, that we must triumph or try, and that while hate cannot be terminated, it sure can be transformed. Yeah, hate cannot be terminated, but it sure can be transformed. Maybe everything hurts, our hearts shadowed and strange, but only when everything hurts can everything change. May we not just ache but act. May we not just grieve but give. May our sign the right to bear arms never blind our sight from shared harm. May we choose our children. May we choose them over chaos. May we choose our children. May we choose our children over chaos. May another innocent never be lost. May another innocent never be lost. May we choose our children, may we choose them over chaos. Maybe everything hurts, our hearts shadowed and strange, but only when everything hurts can everything change.
So today's been a little weird. Do we have ushers? Do we have greeters? Yes? Okay, great. As the ushers gather up the baskets for the offering collection, please join me in the offering prayer. Beloved divine, all that I am and all that I have comes from your limitless supply. I am an open and willing conduit through which your love flows. I share all that I have as you direct. Love, friendship, prosperity, peace, abundance, and joy are gifts that I share and receive. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. Amen. Beloved divine, we breathe things to you that we can't bring to others. We hold things inside us and hope that you can wrestle them out. Please show us how to lean more on our community, our family, our neighbors, and our friends as we navigate an incredibly difficult time in not only our country's life, our city's life, but even in our own lives. Allow us the ability to know we can lean on our people and let the weight of the world go for at least a little bit of time. Remind us that while we may hurt, we can still affect change. Let it be so. Amen. Please stand and join as you are able in the closing song.
All people are holy, many paths, one God. All people are holy, only love is real. No matter who you are, no matter where you've been, let's gather together and let the Spirit in. All people are holy, many paths, one God. All bodies are holy, only love is real. Only love is real.
May the peace of God go before us into this glorious week, and may the peace remain wherever we have walked.